Yo, Wagwan. So, to be honest, I was thinking about it and I said to myself, why not? Let's reopen that old discussion regarding the end of the Boruto manga or the Boruto story in general. So, what I thought is, why not bring your attention back to that old article that I have here from 2019, courtesy of Anime News Network. Now, this article isn't anything new. I've spoken about this on the channel before. I've actually talked about this before, but I thought, given the fact that we finished volume 18, if I'm not mistaken, and we're heading into volume 19 where the story is concerned, I thought now was a good time to actually talk about this again, which is Ikemoto, the illustrator for Boruto, his statement regarding ending the Boruto story within 30 volumes. So, for the persons here that may or may not know, the story of Naruto consisted of 72 volumes, and 3 years ago, Ikemoto essentially said that he wanted to wrap up things within 30 volumes, or to be exact, he wanted the story of Naruto and Boruto combined to be 100 volumes. So, at the bare minimum, the story of Boruto was, well, in his head at least, planned to be 28 volumes at least for the foreseeable future. No. We're in August. We're expecting Boruto chapter 72 within the next 2 weeks, give or take, week and a half. Might be kind of iffy there in my timeline. I'm getting old apparently. So, yeah. But yeah, I wanted to bring up this topic of discussion again because I think it's an interesting topic. Because if I jump to, well, at least Wikipedia, yeah, as I said, as shown here, we actually finish volume 18 as of chapter 71, and we're heading into volume 19 with chapter 72 that's to drop this month. So if you do the math, each volume, as you can see here, has consistently consisted of 4 chapters. So if you do the maths and say bare minimum 10 more volumes, that's 40 chapters. If we go to the maximum predicted expectation based on what Ikemoto said, which is 30 volumes, that is an additional 2, which would make it 48 chapters. So when it comes on to this discussion now, the question I pose to you guys, 48 chapters for the Boruto story. Do you think that is enough to end things? Now, given that, based on what I even said in my previous video when I was talking regarding the whole prophecy that Momoshiki has for Boruto, right? And the fact that he says that's to happen soon. Is that enough evidence to suggest that the story can end within 48 chapters? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it's just one aspect of the story, one big aspect, but just one aspect nonetheless. So the thing is, 48 chapters. I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. Now, if you were to kind of use the first 48 chapters of the manga as like some sort of guide in terms of pacing, at least. I mean, we got the Momoshiki arc, we got the Mujina bandits, we got stuff with Ao, we got the Kawaki arc, and I guess if you consider Kawaki arc everything from the end of Ao till the death of, well, right before the final battle with Ishiki Otsutsuki, essentially. So that is quite a bit of content. But if we were to add 48 more chapters on where we are now, I mean, is that enough? I mean, my expectation at least is that, okay, yeah, we can probably resolve things between Team Konoha and the cyborgs, at least in terms of where they're going to go, get Amado's plan. I can definitely see us going into the time skip because if 48 chapters were to come and we still didn't get into the time skip, that would be actually crazy. But yeah, I expect the time skip, Amado's medium to long term plans, at least something major with code. I mean, based on the pacing that we had when we had Kodachi writing, maybe I would have kind of estimated that, yeah, probably could finish things within 48 chapters. But considering that Kishimoto has kind of proven that he slowed things down for a lot of character driven moments within the narrative right now, Like, I'm starting to doubt 48 chapters. I don't think 48 chapters is going to be enough. Granted, these are monthly. It's a monthly manga. These are monthly chapters, so it's like maybe it could work. And I know there's the expectation that maybe this is gonna happen with these set of characters versus these set of characters. So 48 chapters doesn't seem like enough. But if the manga doesn't really change how it does things as it stands right now, probably 48 chapters isn't too far fetched. And at the end of the day, that might be a nice excuse to wrap up the manga so the anime can have much more material to actually work with, much more space and time to actually work with. Maybe if the time skips like 3 years, that's an excuse for them to say, okay, we can do anime canon stuff between this span of time within the story, yada yada yada. So yeah, it's anyone's guess at this moment. I mean, I think there are arguments that you could make for the story being able to be like wrapped up within 48 chapters, but at the end of the day, it just seems like it might not be enough. But I think depending on how this next volume goes, volume 19, we'll get a better idea, because it really and truly depends on all the things that we have to really clear off for the time skip, based on what we established pre-time skip. And then again, of course, Kishimoto could always introduce another set of things to get through or clear after the time skip happens. I mean, persons are expecting Otsutsuki's code, things to happen with Sarada and Mitsuki within the manga as well, even though they haven't had the best like quantity of panel time compared to, like, say, Boruto and Kawaki, or at least probably not quantity of panel time, but at least focus. I think that's a better term here. So it's like, yeah, can we accomplish all of that within 48 chapters? So I mean, so on one side it's like, prophecy is supposed to happen soon based on what Momoshiki is saying. We have how the manga's like done things to date in terms of who it's focused on and its pacing, yada yada. At least when it goes to slower pacing, we've seen who it decides to actually focus on. So all of that considered, we could probably use that to say, okay, yeah, it could potentially, end it within 48 chapters. Not to mention there is the dependence or reliance on the anime to potentially flesh certain things out. So I mean, that's a tool that's already there. And then I would imagine it also depends on like sealed. I have no idea what the current Boruto seals are looking like, honestly. So that could be a factor that kind of segues into it. So there's that. But on the flip side of things, there is the argument that there's potentially a lot of things to actually get through regarding getting some Sarada, some Mitsuki time, having a little arc for them within the manga. There's still code. There's still what's gonna happen with Naruto and Sasuke, the ninja system. Potentially if Kishimoto decides to bring back in old characters, and of course the elephant in the room, are we gonna get more Otsutsukis and explore them? So it just really and truly depends. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I just thought it would be an interesting idea to at least bring back this discussion topic and bring it back to you guys' attention, for you who may have forgotten Ikemoto's statement. Of course, I don't know if this is a sentiment that's still shared by Kishimoto, if it really is Kishimoto writing, but it is what it is. Anyway, hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'll see you in the next Boruto video.